Liberal leaders. How are you going to prevent them from doing that?
Well, I think one of the things that I'm very, very pleased about is the fact that I've been spending my entire life connecting with Canadians, and over the past 4 or 5 years that I've been in politics, I've been all about genuine conversations, and I've seen right across the country that Canadians are tired of the negativity of politics, and I'll admit it, I'm taking a bit of a gamble. I am believing that Canadians will respond to integrity, that they won't be swayed by nastiness, that they will believe that together we can actually achieve something that isn't divisive, that doesn't play up one corner of the country against another. Now, I'm sure that they're a little bit worried about that, but one of the things is, someone asked me if I thought that this government was afraid of me, and I laughed and I said, no, they're not afraid of me. They're too busy being afraid of everyone in this room to be afraid of me. They're too busy being afraid of Canadians and protecting themselves and hiding their facts and their truth and their actions from Canadians to worry about me. They should be worried about Canadians, because Canadians know that there is something better that they deserve, and the reaction that I've gotten over the past few weeks has indicated to me that Canadians do hope for something better. I think I'm humbled by the fact that many people think it might be me, and I'm looking forward to demonstrate to them that it will be me. But until then, I'm just extremely encouraged by the kinds of reactions that we've been seeing across the country.
Mr. Trudeau, what are you going to do to help relieve burdens that students typically face, such as tuition, student debt, going into the job market?
Well, I think one of the things we absolutely need to understand is for all our wealth and commodities and resources, our greatest resource is Canadians ourselves, and our capacity to be well educated, to be able to engage in the knowledge economy is the one thing that's going to determine Canada's success in the coming years. So ensuring access to education, which talks about reducing barriers to education, which in many cases are financial. Young people are coming out of school with tremendous debt loads. They're coming out of school with real worries that they're not going to be able to find good jobs to move through, so they're deciding to stay less educated in too many cases. There are also other barriers. When you look at our Métis youth, our First Nations youth, there are huge barriers in terms of the quality of education that we're getting. I think it's absolutely essential that we start investing properly in education, in access to education for all, to make sure that the education that everyone gets in this country is world class. And there are a lot of solutions we're looking at, a lot of solutions we're hearing from across the country. And I'm glad to be someone who's standing to say that as a priority for my government, for the Liberal Party, making sure that young people get the education they need to contribute to their fullest to society will always be a huge priority for us.
Some critics I spoke to said that you're not necessarily very vocal about some of your positions on certain issues, and that there's a bit of a lack of clarity on what you stand for on certain issues. How do you respond to that?
Well, there's no lack of clarity. I have stood before you and said that I plan on bringing people together and saying the same thing from coast to coast to coast, and looking to find genuine solutions to the real problems we have, not band-aids or sound bites. Now, that's something that you may say, well, listen, lots of politicians say that, and therefore people don't realize that when a politician says that and actually means it, it is a very, very strong policy statement to say what we're going to do. And because of that, the search for solutions, which will come from across the country, cannot start with someone standing up and saying this is exactly what the country needs and where this country needs to go. As I said before, someone who says they have all the answers is exactly the kind of politics that people tend to be fed up with. I am engaged in listening, in drawing together experts and people who work hard and live challenging lives right across the country to try and generate the kinds of solutions that will really work for this country, instead of trying to impose through ideology. And that is a very powerful statement. The other element of it is, I have said very clearly that my approach to the middle class is what's going to make this economy strong. An approach to making the middle class in this country strong needs to be what this country is going to have to go forward. We do a very good job of carrying caring for, there's still work to be done, but caring for the most vulnerable in society. We do a good job of staying open for business and allowing the successful to succeed. But the people who work hard for a living are finding their costs rising, their income stagnating, and their debts exploding. And we need to understand that a strong Canadian economy passes through a strong middle class. And that is a very important policy statement that I have made from the very beginning.
In 70s and the 80s, Justin, the ethnic votes were the monopolies of the Liberal Party. And right now, most of the conservative. And how would you reverse the trend of the ethnic votes?
Well, I think one of the things that we understand is that the Conservatives have been very, very effective at being transactional in their approach to reaching out to diverse communities and getting their votes. If they promise an extra visa office in someone's home region, they promise to fund a particular festival or community center, they promise to have Jason Kenney show up and do something nice for them in a particular point of time in exchange for votes. Now, what we've seen over the past years is that people are realizing that the Conservative Party is very good at saying the right kinds of things. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Your late father and I were closely connected to the politics in the Liberal Party.
Yes.
I wrote a book of memoirs.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
One of our strong youth volunteers would like a picture
Hey,
with you.
it's a pleasure to see you.
Crystal,
We got a picture here.
Ready? Okay, and then just there are two other youth volunteers here.
Thank you. Good to see you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, can you take this place for me?
Absolutely.
That's
Right over here.
Make sure you don't lose it.
Smile.
No, it's not working.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you.